Good early evening, late afternoon from the East Coast, everybody. It's Verge. How you guys doing today? Hope you guys had a great day today. It's a little bit stormy up here. We got some thunderstorms rolling through, but all in all, been a pretty decent day. So hope you guys had the same. It's another episode of Let's Talk, and as I alluded to last week in our Let's Talk episode, I talked about fear, and one of the things that's associated with fear is anxiety. Now, I mentioned in that video that kind of holds a place with me. So, just sitting here talking with you guys today, I just want to kind of open up a little bit about some of the things that affect me in my life, and that's what this is. Kind of all about, to talk with you guys to see if I can relate to you guys on any of these experiences. So, anxiety, pretty much a definition, and yes, I'm reading from the computer. The screen's right in front of me. I do not have this memorized. My brain is not that well. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something that is like an uncertain outcome. It's a desire to do something, typically accompanied with unease, and it's a nervous disorder. It's a psychological disorder, and that's just the basic. That's like a definition of what anxiety is. If you look it up online, that's what it will tell you. Now, there's way more to that. All right, so the biggest thing that I want to talk about today is kind of give you a little bit of a background on one of these big disorders. It's kind of there's multiple disorders of anxiety. I'm going to talk to you about the one that I've been diagnosed with, and then next week we'll talk about some of the options that you have if maybe you can relate to me somehow, and we're always wondering what and why you felt certain ways. Now I can next week show you, what are your steps, what are your options for treatment. So I have what is called, what is diagnosed as generalized anxiety disorder, or GAG, GAD, not GAG, GAD, and it's over exaggerated anxiety. It's everyday life worried. It's anxiety like every single day, every minute of the day. It's a constant state of, oh my gosh, with everything in life, from family to work to you name it, like doing simple things as like projects and stuff, doing simple things as like this video. Now, in the past, that would have been something that would have, really I've been nervous. I probably wouldn't even have the shot to do this and look into a camera and sit here and talk to you guys, knowing that people are going to sit here and look at me. I'd be worried about what people were thinking and this, that, the other thing. Nowadays, after I have gone through some extensive treatment and worked on many things, I can do these things now, and I feel comfortable doing these things, and it's fun. It brings a different approach to life. When I was playing sports, looking back on it, I played soccer all my life, and I think looking back on it now, I could have been, a little bit better, I guess, because I used to always have performance anxiety. I used to always be nervous before a game, and it maybe affected, how I played. So that's one thing. That is just a small part. Now, if that's just all it is, that's normal. There's times where we have this and it's normal, but when you're diagnosed with a anxiety disorder, and especially with like generalized anxiety disorder, that's every single day. You wake up and you're worried about everything. You're worried about what you're going to do at work. You're worried about what's going on in life, money, relationships, family, school. If you're in school, college, it's every single day. You're like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? It's over and over excessive working, and it starts to dominate you, and it starts to take over your life. So here's some of the symptoms. Let me read these off to you, and if you guys are experiencing any of this, I'm not saying I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I'm just saying these are some of the things that, and some of the things I have experienced, with this. I'll let you know. Excessive ongoing worry or tension. So always tight, uptight. You might have like headaches because your trap here is connected up into your skull. Notice my medical background. Your trap is connected in here, and if you're so tight and you have so much tension, it pulls on the back of your skull here. Now that's actually connected because all your muscles are kind of connected in a certain way. It connects up into your head, and what that does is put so much tension, you have consistent headaches. Now, people who have consistent headaches might just be, oh, I have like migraines or something like that. No, it actually might be anxiety. Um, you're restless, you're edgy, irritable, again, muscle tension, headaches, rapid heartbeat. You're tired, you don't get enough sleep. There's sleeping disorders, trembling. You can be startled easily. You feel like you can't concentrate. You feel always sick. You always feel down. Then you also have what we talked about last week. You have fears, and your fears really expedite that anxiety, or your anxiety really just brings out those fears and picks them up like really, really quickly. So for me, like I said last week, I have a fear of heights. I can't go over bridges sometimes because I have panic attacks. And that pretty much, that's one of the things like I'm working on is to, understand that and to be calm with that. But it creates such panic that start to get the tingling, the sweaty palms, the rapid heartbeat. That's panic. That's not a heart attack or anything like that. That's a panic attack. And simply is what that is. Over time, you become obsessive compulsive. There's certain things. You can have depression. I've also been diagnosed with some clinical depression. It's not severe, but it has been spawned on by my lack of understanding what my anxiety is. Now I'm a little bit older, so I haven't had the resources that I do have now. So there's a lot of stuff, and I'll talk about it next week as far as what I'm doing on a therapy side of things, that it pretty much builds up, and I'm re-educating myself and reprogramming myself. Just like in physical therapy, you're reprogramming your body to work in the correct fashion. So that's it. So, what causes it? There's genetics, brain chemistry within the nerves, and environmental stresses. So if there's a great environmental stress, like if you really have a high stress job, it actually might breed it. If you have genetics, you're predisposed to it. That's something that I'm learning. It's runs in my family, and I'm trying to break that line right now. And with brain chemistry, that's kind of the genetics. There's um, certain inhibitors and stuff that are released from the brain in certain conjunctions or synapses within the nerves that you don't have the right things released, and so it doesn't cause the right reaction, and that your brain certain parts of your brain start to overtake because other parts aren't doing their job. So those are the type of things. So genetics, family history, is it? There's regions with the chemistry. That's what I was talking about. The regions of the brain, they're not functioning right. They're not doing what they need to, and that's where medicine comes involved. We'll talk about that next week. That's where medicine comes involved, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, if I take medicine, that's going to cure everything." No, and I'll talk to you about that next week from my experience. And then environmental factors. This is where post-traumatic stress syndrome comes into play. That affects PTSD, affects your anxiety. It builds on top of that. If you already had it, if not, it can breed it. So it's not necessarily something that, some of us might be born with it naturally. Some of us are programmed with it by the way we were raised, and some of us are affected by it like every single day life. When I have like big projects at work, it was more intense. When I was doing presentations, it was more intense. That's where the social anxiety aspect of it, and that's just people being anxious, being outside, being in social situations and stuff like that. So those are the biggest, things I just wanted to kind of, talk about. Next week, I'll talk to you about like what you can do if you feel some of these things, and you might kind of be like, "Oh, I can kind of relate a little bit. I kind of feel these things, when I'm out performing, like in sports or in school." And then we'll talk about like treatment. So what you need to do, and kind of work through that. This is very, very, very big in our country, and a lot of us don't recognize what it is, and it can be very, very easy to work with. A lot of people think that it can't affect them, but it affects you every single day. There's probably a little bit in everybody every single day. It's just certain people, it compounds, and it's worse and worse and worse. You just have to recognize what it is and start to welcome that and start to work with it. If you don't, it'll start to lead in things, kind of down the line. And we look at people who are depressed as, oh, they're sick. Well, yes, absolutely, but it's something that if we support and we're a human to another human, we can build them back up and make them even stronger, because you can fight it. It's that simple. You can fight it, and you can work with it. And there's treatments for it, and I've had them. As far as my anxiety disorder, and some things I have, it's like a total 180 in the opposite direction. Other things take time to work on. It's a reprogramming process. So, um, you know, that's where I kind of wanted to go with this today. It's a topic that I hold to my heart. It's a little bit of a longer video, I know, and I wanted to sit here and talk to you face to face. That's the fashion of this. No gameplay or anything like that. This is a serious subject for me. So, you know, research it. I'm going to put a link in the description to the WebMD link on general anxiety disorder. Look into it, and join me next week, and I'll kind of give you some things like this is what you need to do. Again, not a doctor, don't diagnose anything, but I can, show you like this is who you need to go talk to. You need to go talk to a psychiatrist, and then you need to listen to them, and you need to do this, this, and this. These are the options that you have, because again, it can be something that is fought and that is, huge. We need to band together and make sure that everybody knows. If you see somebody that's always uptight, maybe depressed, you might be fine. You might be fine, but you might have, close friends that you notice this over time. They start to change. People have seen that in me, and that's what friends are for. That's what people are for. We're here to help out our fellow man and woman. So that's what we want to try to work on here. So thank you guys so much for listening to me talk about this. I really do appreciate it. Next week, part 2, like I said, I'll get into everything a little bit more as far as next steps, what you can do in life with that. And then from there, that's it. Follow me on Twitter. Hit a like if you like the video. Subscribe. I'll have some more stuff going out tonight. It's Tuesday the 11th. We're going to have a trivia Tuesday stream tonight. We're going to play some gameplay and have some trivia questions. I'm going to have a special host with me. So look forward to guys seeing you soon. And if you want to leave a comment in the comment section below, we'll talk about this a little bit more. You guys all be safe. Have a great rest of your day today. God bless you.